Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. And for this one, we are still on the good old Commodore 64, and it is Millennium Assault, which was coded by, I believe they're called Cosine. Well, it also has Commodore Zone here, but I don't know, maybe the two are the same fucking lot. This was made in 1998, so it is another later game, but not as late as the Cytronic games that I reviewed recently. But nevertheless, obviously this came along long after the Commodore 64 was considered old hat. So, yeah, now this was a public domain release. It wasn't, an actual, officially published game, which I suspect is how they've got around this whole business of being able to use Star Wars stuff, despite, well, doing so without getting any sort of permission. At least I highly doubt they got any permission from Lucasfilm and whatever. So, alright, let's get the game underway. Now, you got to be a bit careful when you're flying around here. All of those asteroids you can see in the background, that is what they are. They will take away your shield. If you have a look on the bottom panel there, you have obviously your score, followed by a huge blank area that doesn't ever show anything. It is just there to show a very extended Star Wars logo, and then you have your shield. So you start off being able to take 6 hits. I've already taken 4 hits, and yeah, now down to 3. I'm not exactly a dab hand at this game, but then I'm also, it's been a while since I played this, and I didn't exactly play it very often in the past. So anyway, that, believe it or not, was level 1 done. So here we are on level 2. Just about got away with that. Didn't get away with that though, by the looks of it. Oh yes, I did. Haven't lost any of my shield yet. So we are approaching the second approaching the second Death Star, I think. Can't be that far from it. There are only 3 levels in this game. This second level clearly goes on for an awful lot longer than the first one. As it is, I've been destroyed and it's game over. But there you go. Now obviously with this being a public domain game, I can't be too harsh on it, too critical on it. Can I? Fuck. Let's get another game underway, and we shall start the review. So first of all then, graphics. I think the graphics are, for the most part, absolute shite. I look at this Millennium Falcon. I mean, you know, the Millennium Falcon in the Domark conversion of Return of the Jedi looked less blocky than this. And in that game, it looked absolutely like it was made out of Lego bricks. But here, fucking what a mess! It's basically the I think it's a Millennium Falcon, but it's been sort of redesigned so that it is now a spaceship equivalent of the Elephant Man. It looks like shit. The TIE fighters don't look that great either, largely because I don't remember seeing very many sort of like pink and turquoise TIE fighters in the film. Maybe they were just on screen for such a short time that I didn't get the chance to notice them. I really am very close to going out into the front garden and taking a fucking sledgehammer to that fucking cuntmobile out there that is making that fucking racket. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, graphics. So these asteroids, when you first play the game, if you are not aware of it, you would quite rightly think, oh, they're just part of the background. No, they are actually obstacles, and you do have to avoid them. Likewise, when you're flying through the Death Star interiors, you've got to watch out for some other obstacles within there. Fuck knows what, fuck knows where they are, but you got to watch out for them. So we are approaching the second Death Star. There are only 3 levels. So there you go. What the fuck did I hear? Fuck knows. So you have no idea, and you know, apart from through trial and error, what you can hit and what you can't. When you are hit and lose some shields, your ship flashes to indicate temporary invincibility. You can barely see the flash. So what's else? None of the TIE fighters fire a single shot at you, not one. Likewise, when you're in the Death Star interior, there are no sort of like, you know, ground defences or anything that is shooting at you. Nothing. There's also, of course, the not so small matter of the size of your Millennium Falcon. It's so fucking big that trying to avoid obstacles is quite a thankless task a lot of the time. There are no power-ups. It's just the same plain old shot throughout. I've sort of moved on to gameplay really, haven't I? And as shoot 'em ups go, this is as basic and generic a shoot 'em up as I think you are likely to find this side of 1982. It really does not have a lot going for it. These are the yellow TIE fighters. I think they were in none of the films at all. So amazingly, I still have 3 shields left. I can't believe that. So we're approaching the second Death Star now. Now somewhere around here then there's an area, so it must be this area here. So I've got to avoid it. But how do I avoid it? And now it looks like it's getting really narrow, and yet amazingly I managed to get through it. I can't believe that. So, oh fuck's sake. Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to avoid that, and I've crashed again. Well, alright, then you would get to the audio. So this title music is as predictable as it gets, although it is probably the best rendition of the Star Wars theme that I've heard on a Commodore 64. Which could be high praise, but really all previous renditions of the Star Wars theme that I've heard on a Commodore 64 have been absolute shite. To put it, yeah, let me put it this way. Until now, the best version I heard was the version on the A-Team. Anyway. Then you have the in-game music. And I've heard people absolutely rave about this particular piece of music. They're saying how fucking great it is. Yeah, I suppose if you are a fucking, you know, Star Wars ultra nerd, then yeah, you probably will think it's great. I think by now it is quite well established that I am anything but a Star Wars ultra nerd. I am not a Star Wars fan. So I'm staggeringly indifferent towards it. I mean, yeah, okay, it's reasonably well done, but I mean, it's you know, it's the Star Wars theme. I've heard it a billion times before. I am frankly sick to death of the fucking piece of music. Except, of course, this isn't the Star Wars theme, is it? This is the, I don't know what the fucking hell it's called, but it's the theme, it's the music that plays when not much is happening. I think it's something that's supposed to be sort of making everybody feel emotional or something. It fails. Of course, with that being the case, this version being so up-tempo doesn't really work. So, yeah, graphically it goes from forgettable to utter festering shit. In terms of audio, I mean, there are no sound effects of any description, and the music, while it's well done, I'm not a fan. Because, I mean, I'm just so sick of the Star Wars soundtrack. And in terms of the gameplay, shoot 'em ups do not get more basic than this. I have genuinely seen more, you know, variety and variation in Space Invaders than I have in this. It's just unbelievably bland. I mean, come on. Surely they could have put a bit more variety than this in it. Oh, what a shame. It's fucking blown up again. I mean, you know, by 1998, it was long since, you know, standard practice in shoot-em-ups to have, like, you know, at least some power-ups. But not here. And, you know, it was also standard practice that, you know, the enemy ships that you're shooting did at least fire a shot at you. But no, they're basically flying in formation. It's basically, like, you know, deformed Millennium Falcon takes on the Imperial Red Arrows. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, everyone who has Commodore 64 pretty much would, you know, be more than happy to get their hands on a shoot 'em up based on Star Wars that is actually pretty good. And to be honest, during the 64's heyday, they never got one. Because, I mean, Star Wars, you know, the coin-op conversion was okay, and the Empire Strikes Back conversion was okay, and Return of the Jedi was a load of shit, but then so was the coin-op original, so, you know, no fault of their own. But there weren't any, like, as far as I can tell, as far as I can remember, there weren't any original Star Wars based games on the Commodore 64. And you know, Star Wars fans were crying out for it. And I dare say that plays a significant part in the creation of this game. But surely they could have done something more interesting than this. I know it's only public domain and that, and you know, so they may have thought, well, you know, we'll just do a cheapo thing. But fuck me, there's cheapo and then there's this, you know. I mean, it really does, you know, there's nothing happens. And as a result, it's so fucking boring. So what do I score it? Well, graphics wise it scores fuck all, because it really is a fucking shit pile. Audio wise, yeah, the audio wise, you know, audio is okay, I guess. You know, it's well done, even though I don't like the actual music itself. And the gameplay is just, I mean, there is just absolutely fuck all here to make you want to come back and play this game more than once. Which is, I say, it's fucking annoying, because it looks like it could have been good. But it also looks like they got as far as they did here and just thought, oh, I can't be bothered, let's just do it, leave it like this and release it. Yeah. So I score this game 1 out of 10 and leave you with this poser. Down in the bottom there, your information panel. So you have your score on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you have your shield. What fucking purpose does that big fucking Star Wars logo with fuck all written in there, what purpose does that serve? So anyway, there you go. So that is Millennium Assault for Commodore 64. 1 out of 10. That brings this review to an end, and we'll see you at the next one.